going on, everybody? It's another edition of the NRW Checkpoint, of course, with your two favorite gaming hosts, myself, WebsterStyle. Of course, as always, I'm joined by my man, Brian Sapph. Brian, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. It's a big day in gaming. We are actually, as we're recording, about an hour away from the PlayStation State of Play, and who knows what PlayStation is going to be talking about. Hopefully, it won't be disappointing as some of their more recent states of play. But we got a Nintendo Direct this morning, and I know there was really only one game that really I cared about, and Brian shares this sentiment. But Brian, there was another game that you're interested in as well, because we've talked about this game, especially when we were talking about Tinykin about 2-3 weeks ago. And what game is that?
Pikmin 4.
Yes.
Everybody's been waiting for the Pikmin to return, and I'm one of those people. And today we got, was it an official announcement? Because they didn't really release date, did they?
I think they said 2023. It didn't give a
specific
time frame.
Date. Yeah,
but Miyamoto was out there talking about it, so that's always a good thing.
Right. And then we had a cool teaser trailer, and the Pikmin 4 popped on the screen, and pandemonium ensued. We're excited.
Right.
At least I am.
Exactly. I've never been a Pikmin fan, but I always understood the appeal of the game in the series. And there were a lot of games talked about today. They gave a final name for the Breath of the Wild sequel, and it escapes me at the moment. That looked pretty cool. And it was a whole lot of games in 40 minutes. But there's probably one game that stood out. GoldenEye. And this is the thing. I am not playing GoldenEye on the Switch.
Why not?
Because it's also coming out on the Xbox via Game Pass. That was part of that dual announcement that happened. So this is what happened. So if you're living under a rock, you know that Nintendo has basically put their emulation behind their subscription paywall. Yes. So N64 games are now on that expansion plus portion of their game subscription. I forget, it's like an extra $50 a year, something like that. You get like N64 Genesis games, and I feel like in Super Nintendo games as well. I don't remember anyway.
Yeah,
so it's going to be all that. Okay, so it's going to be a part of that expansion pass, and it's going to come out sometime next year. And this is the aspect of it. It's from what all reports, they've actually watched a couple of videos on it today. It's pretty much the same game, no real enhancements. So it's a direct port of the N64 game. However, online play is part of this part of it. Then you have the Xbox Game Pass version, which has been rumored since the 360 days. Because, again, if you don't know, Microsoft owns Rare. Rare developed the original GoldenEye 64.
Right.
So apparently there have been leaks for years of achievements for GoldenEye for Xbox. And apparently it was supposed to be released during the 360 era as part of Xbox Live Arcade. Well, they couldn't get licensing, none of that stuff. And I also think at that point in time, Activision still had the license for 007, which is why they released that horrible GoldenEye successor or whatever that came out during that time period. But this version on the Xbox is going to be remastered in 4K, local co-op, but there's no mention of online, which is highly dubious. So many people think that the online game of GoldenEye is exclusive to Nintendo, which is really weird, but I guess that's how they worked it out. But also, there was no mention of a price for GoldenEye for Nintendo, for Xbox. It just mentioned Game Pass, which isn't. Now, I've seen some people talk about it. I didn't think much of it because they don't ever talk about how much anything costs of being able to purchase. They always talk about coming direct to Game Pass, direct to Game Pass. So I didn't think anything of it and why people brought it up. But if you own the Rare collection, you get to download it for free when it releases.
Oh, okay.
And mind you, that Rare collection is like $20 right now.
Rare has what's a part of that collection? Because if I'm not
Conquer,
mistaken,
Banjo, both of the Banjo games,
okay,
all of their old stuff like Saber Wolf, all the Nintendo games I love, like Snake Right on Roll and RC Pro Am. There's like 30 plus games on that bad boy.
is Donkey Kong Country a part of
No,
that?
that's straight Nintendo.
Okay, all
But
right.
what's the
I'm
other
almost
game? Jet Force something or other is also on there. Like so,
up.
all of the non-branded Nintendo games are on that compilation. So all the 64 stuff outside of did they do Donkey Kong 64? I don't remember. But
I
I know they did
feel
Donkey Kong Country in those games.
yeah, that's why I'm asking because I feel like I recall seeing that rare, logo pop up before I played Donkey Kong Country
But yeah,
back
they
in
developed it. Yeah,
yeah,
they were a second party. They weren't a first party Nintendo, but they're a second party. So they had some kind of stake in them, but
okay.
they were purchased by Microsoft. Say I was in grad school when Grab by the Ghoulies came out. So this must have been like 2000,
Mm,
2001
that
on the
sounds
original OG Xbox.
accurate.
So around that time period is when Microsoft purchased them, or at least right before that period.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean, I'm excited. I
yeah, me
had
too. Me too.
I
Me
don't know, I
too.
had so many like just amazing memories playing GoldenEye 64. I'm really, really excited for it to come to Switch. I like the online thing. I guess my only like gripe about it would probably be that it's nothing, they haven't enhanced anything,
Right,
but
exactly.
at the same time, it's a classic game. It
Yeah, it's
doesn't
still
need
GoldenEye.
touching up. Yeah. I mean, I would like to see maybe some graphical improvements or whatever, but if we talking about 007, they could just give us a new 007 game to like fill that void. But there was magic with 00
Yeah,
with
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye. It
There was
just
something about that title that that whole confluence, because like the movie came out in 95,
mm,
that just reinvigorated like the franchise, because that was like the first movie after Timothy Dalton, his two movies bombed.
mm,
Pierce Brosnan came in, who everybody at the time was like he was perfect for James Bond, and why didn't he do it before? GoldenEye was a huge success, and then it came out with the game 2 years later, and it so captured the theme of James Bond, but
man.
also it was like the first person shooter that everybody could play.
Yeah, that's what it
And
was.
the Nintendo analog stick, the N64 stick, as awkward as it was,
That shit was
it
perfect.
yeah, it was perfect for GoldenEye in a
Right.
control scheme.
Right.
It was really perfect. I'll tell you, that was it came out in 97, so my sophomore year of college. I just remember a bunch of us in the living room. You talking about 10 dudes
Yeah.
on a little 13-inch CRT TV,
Yeah.
crowding around the TV, laying proximity mines and this and that. It's like there is nothing that was just one of those great multiplayer bonding experiences
It
for
was.
video games, especially at that time frame, and obviously even further on. But it is something about when it came out, there was nothing like it on the market.
Yeah,
Really.
I remember stuff like that, man. It was, I think that particular game is what set in motion the whole what we have now, as far as
Yes.
like Call of Duty being the way it is and Apex Legends and stuff like that. I feel like GoldenEye was the one that set that in motion because I remember those moments too. Like I was in, I don't know, I don't remember how old I was. I had to be like around 10 years old or something. And going to the community center for the summer program, we in the game room. They wheel a TV in. I'm thinking, oh, we about to watch movies. No, it's an N64. We got we were doing GoldenEye tournaments because you can do 4 players on
Right.
the screen at one time. So it's like whoever lose got to get off the sticks, or the person that wins is the only one that can stay on, and we get 3 brand new people in. It was just a good time. And that's actually what made me like a fan of the 007 series. Because after that, I stuck with it. Whatever 007 game came out for PlayStation, I think Nightfire was like the one that came after,
Right.
well, for me, the one I got back into it. I was like, man, we need 007. I don't necessarily care for too much of the Call of Duty stuff anymore, I should say, because I used to be a big Call of Duty player. But 007, like something about that particular franchise, that multiplayer It's
It was just
unbeatable.
fun. It
Yeah.
was just so fun. And that made, I think that original, much like the original Halo, and Halo just kind of just like took that and like went to the moon with that
Yeah.
multiplayer. But
Halo and Metroid.
it was something about that game and being together and playing it. Like you don't think about sitting there playing there with your friends playing Call of Duty.
Right.
There are very few games where you're like you have fond memories, regardless of how old you are, where you're sitting there with a bunch of people and you're passing the sticks and you're playing 4-player, death match or what have you.
Right.
And really, it's just like GoldenEye and Halo.
Yeah.
When you think about it, I mean,
Yeah.
PlayStation, and again, I can be wrong. You don't hear anybody talk about any sort of games like, yeah, we sit there and we played this 4-player death match on this game on that. Like, not saying they don't exist, but you don't hear people talk about it. It's literally in that era, it's GoldenEye, and then 3 years later. I'm thinking 3 years later or whatever was Halo. Like that time frame, that was it. That's what, and that kind of defined that sort of couch co-op sort of era. So I'm looking forward to GoldenEye come back, even if it's, I'm sure the control scheme, well, the Xbox version, they're updating it, but even with somewhat outdated control schemes, it's going to be a fun game to play.
It is. We got online multiplayer on this. Like,
yes.
This is about to have a crazy resurgence. If not, at least for, a little while after its release. I know the hype will die down, but GoldenEye is like a staple in the gaming community, period.
Yes.
Like every gamer I know has played that game.
I guarantee you, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to pay that money for the expansion pass just to play GoldenEye.
Absolutely.
And just to play online. And we talking about, 30 and up people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the demo. That's the market right there.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, the kids will be, they'll do their thing or whatever, but Fortnite, that's theirs. That's them.
Yeah.
And Minecraft and all that kind of shit. Like this is for us. We coming in, we're getting the what's the little short man they used to throw the hat. I remember that. That was so fun to me. And damn, every character had like their own like special weapon that was like
Odd job. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Odd job. But yeah, shout out to GoldenEye. That's gonna be great.
Right. Unfortunately, it doesn't come out until 2023, but we have a whole host of games to go through that are actually coming out this week.
Okay.
First up, we have Little Orpheus, and this is coming out for pretty much everything: PlayStation systems, Xbox systems, Switch, and PC. This is dropping on September 13th, which is in this case today, for the low price of $12.99. It is a 2.5D platformer. Apparently, this was released on mobile back in 2020, and when we watched the trailer, you're getting like, this was a mobile game. It looks really good for a 2.5D game. Now, it was developed by the Chinese Room and published by Secret Room. Interesting pairing there. So it's a technicolor side-scrolling adventure game inspired by classic movies like Flash Gordon, Sinbad, and The Land of Time Forgot. Join our bold yet hapless hero, Comrade Ivan Ivanovich, as he explores lost civilizations, undersea kingdoms, prehistoric jungles, and lands beyond imagination. Gasp as he battles the subhuman tribe of Menkiv and escapes the clutches of dreadful monsters. Cheer as he triumphs over impossible odds and untold dangers in the subterranean worlds. So, seems like a lot of adventure, different worlds, different levels really to traverse, and different types of enemies.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the trailer for this one. It seems interesting and it's weird. It's funny doing the research for the show. I get a lot more trailers just popping up in my feed now as far as things I need to watch. So the YouTube algorithm is definitely listening.
Right.
And speaking of random ads that popped up in my YouTube watching, next up is You Suck at Parking. This is coming out exclusively for the Xbox series of systems, so S, X, and One, and PC on September 14th for the low price of $19.99. And it's coming out for other systems later, but for right now, it's a timed exclusive. It's a racing game, and it's from publisher developer Happy Volcano.
It's a racing game.
Yes, exactly. Called You Suck at Parking.
Right.
Is the only racing game where your goal is to stop, eventually drive, drift, and park in this simple and accessible yet challenging game where parking is more important than your driving skills. Collect cars, learn new mechanics, challenge the world, and customize your ride in this ever-evolving parking simulator. And this is a game that's coming out day one on Game Pass. So this comes out the 14th.
So a racing parking simulator.
Yes.
What will they think of next?
Right. And we are watching the trailer, and and this is one of the ones that popped up as an ad in my YouTube watching the other day. It looks crazy. So it looks absolutely crazy.
I mean, people really can't park. So I can imagine that making a game out of it would be quite interesting. I'm interested to see that.
Right. Next up, we have Metal Hellsinger, and this is coming out for the PS5, Xbox X, S and X, and PC on September 15th for the price of $39.99. And this is a rhythmic shooter, and it's a rhythmic first-person shooter. And we've seen a lot of these combinations between rhythm games and shooter games lately. So I'm thinking that's really fun that developers are really looking to mash up the genres in that way.
Yeah, I love that. I think anything that, because I mean, first person shooters, they're pretty much I don't know, after so many, they all kind of look the same.
Yeah, dime a dozen.
Yeah, I like when these extra elements come into it, especially when they incorporate music and stuff. That's always cool.
Exactly. So this is coming from developer The Outsiders and publisher Funcom. So it's titled as a rhythmic FPS brimming with diabolical enemies, powerful weapons, and metal music, set out on an infernal journey in order to achieve the purest of goals, vengeance. Your ability to shoot on the beat will directly impact both the damage you deal and how awesome the music sounds. And this is also another one that's dropping day one in Game Pass.
Okay, and we watching the trailer for that.
Yes,
I want to see what that looks like.
Same here. I purposely didn't watch a lot of these trailers because I wanted to really interact with them and get my honest opinion as we're watching. So next up we have
Dance Dance Revolution.
Say it again.
No, I said it sounds like a first-person shooter version of like Dance Dance Revolution a little bit.
That actually sounds absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I want to see this trailer. Hopefully that's what it is.
Next up, we have Wayward Strand. This come out for the PS4 and 5, Xbox One, SX, Switch, and PC on September 15th, and is dropping for $19.99. And it's an adventure game from publisher developer Ghost Pattern. It's titled as a heartfelt interactive story told in a unique and curious way. Play as Casey Burmas, intrepid teenage journalist as she visits an airborne hospital for the first time. And this is set in like this alternate 1978 from some of you can see other description. I'm like, oh yeah, I was born. Okay, great. So I'm expecting sort of nostalgia vibes, sort of that, period sort of piece, but in an alternate setting, especially since she's at an airborne hospital. And to my knowledge, there were no airborne hospitals when I was born. So
right. Interesting.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. It looks cool from what I saw with some of the pictures and everything. So I'm interested in watching trailer. And then, Brian, are you a fan of point and click adventure games?
If the story is good.
Okay. Well, we have the return of one of the most venerated point and click adventure games of all time, or venerated series, and that's Return to Monkey Island, and it is dropping on the Switch and the PC on September 17th for the price of $24.99. It's an adventure game. It is developed by Terrible Toy Box and published by Devolver Digital and Lucas Games. Of course, Lucas was going to be there with the original Monkey Island games. So this is if you're not familiar, the Monkey Island games are pretty much heralded as the standard for the classic point and click 2D adventure games on the PC. It was always talked about for its humor and its great writing and storytelling. And with this game, a lot of the original developers and writers are back, as well as voice cast for this new adventure. So the objective of the game is to move the story forward by solving narrative-based puzzles. This can be done by exploring locations, talking to NPCs, to acquire information, collecting items to keep in an inventory, and figuring when is the right time to use them. So, it's one of the things I love about this generation / into current generation is the amount that companies are placing on nostalgia, not in a bad way, not just, hey, let's just do a crappy remake or a crappy HD version of this game to put it out because people liked it. And we've seen a lot of those, a whole lot of those. But when you get something like a Return to Monkey Island, which is a brand new game in a series that many people love, we're seeing a lot more games find new life, find new legs. Like, for instance, my spouse, for whatever reason, and I say it because it is not the type of game that you think she would like. She always loved the Leisure Suit Larry games when she was growing up into college. So that series has come back to life, and they've released 2 new Leisure Suit Larry games over the past couple of years. And I bought her one a while ago. I probably buy her the other one eventually. But these are the sort of games, and there's another point and click PC adventure game. The current crop of consoles have really given new life to these games, and it's great to see a series like Returning Monkey Island come back to the forefront.
Yeah, I'm all about nostalgia, and there's always, games in particular are like a rare case when it comes to like entertainment and media and things that you can consume, because they come, stuff like this, it comes out 30 years, 20 years ago, and then technology advances, and there's all these new ways to reimagine the game and make it feel like the old game, but even better, which is why we're excited about GoldenEye for, all intents and purposes. So I like when they do stuff like this. Like, I'm never gonna oppose a remake. Like, the Final Fantasy remakes have been great so far. Like, anytime they're gonna reach back and like, hey, this is a game that has potential, and if we add all these elements to it, or subtract, or take the story and the characters and kind of send in a different direction, I like stuff like that. So Return to Monkey Island. Do I want to return? We'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But we're watching a trailer actually right now.
All right.
Hello, friends. It's your old pal Stan, coming to you through the magic of marketing to let you know that your search for quality entertainment is about to bear fruit. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I just dropped the details on you without a little build-up. I want you to see the kind of fine dining establishments you'll be visiting, like this one.
Get lost.
And if escapism is your cup of flavor, you can't do much better than this exotic and extremely remote island.
Stay back! How did you find me?
Return to Monkey Island launches September 19th, which happens to be International Talk Like a Pirate Day. But you don't have to wait. You can order it right now, before it's even out. Something we in the marketing industry call a pre-order. As a bonus, I'm ready to unload this shipment of beautiful horse armor to anyone who pre-orders Return to Monkey Island. It'll look fantastic in your inventory.
Oi, you missed a spot.
I've got to go now. I've got a lot of irons and a lot of fires. You know how it is. But I'll be back to steal every scene I'm in Return to Monkey Island. I'll see you there. All pre-order customers will receive the exclusive horse armor item in their inventory. Please note that the horse armor has no practical use in-game and in no way will contribute to the gameplay, puzzles, or narrative of Return to Monkey Island.
Okay.
Oh, that was the greatest, especially that last part. It was such a dig at useless DLC pre-order incentives. I love it.
Yeah, it was a good trailer.
It was.
Makes me interested to play the game now.
Definitely.
Shout out to all the developers in there who are coming up with these very, very captivating trailers that's a good way to sell games. We know. Watch the trailer, see if you want to buy the game. The trailer is fire now. That could really be the turning point in somebody's decision making.
Totally agree.
So I'm glad that they're like saying, hey, we spent all this time on the game. Let's spend an extra amount of time making sure the trailer sells it, because that was a good one.
Right. I agree. That definitely makes me want to play the game when it comes, or at least wait for a discount and download on somebody's Switch.
Right. At least to laugh. And,
right. Exactly.
Or
at least watch some walkthroughs on YouTube.
Right.
Exactly. Next up, we have Wayward Strand.
I'm just going to do the rounds. I'll check in on each patient and see how they're doing. Did you need anything before I go?
Can I come?
I like the art style of this one
sure.
as well.
I can introduce you to anyone you haven't yet met.
It reminds me of what's that show? King of the Hill a little bit.
Okay, I can see that.
Like the drawing style.
Did you need anything?
Yeah, almost like a watercolor.
Oh, I
yes.
might have tea in here later if that's not too much of a bother.
Wait, Darcy, right? Mrs. B.
I do like the voice acting just from this bit we've seen already.
Casey. Not Casey. Just Casey.
Sure.
Not Casey.
Who's Joni?
Listening in, were you? She's none of your business. Don't be a busybody.
Mrs. Fitzgerald, you're exactly on time.
On here.
You sound surprised.
Not at all.
So I wonder what kind of, maybe not mystery, but what kind of story you're trying to uncover and write as this young journalist being nosy around this hospital with clearly elderly folks.
The characters are really, and then it looked like this hospital's on a boat.
It says it's floating, airborne, so like dirigible, something like that.
Wayward Strand is arriving soon, and I can't wait to meet you.
Clearly, it didn't make
actually
that 21st of July.
Right.
All right.
Well,
so that looks interesting. Definitely looking forward to that when that drops this week.
Me too.
Next up, we have Metal Hellsinger. Bud, tobacco use.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Carl, and I'm a developer on Metal Hellsinger. You know how
He
in
looks
some
like
games
he's in a
when the
metal
music's
band.
really good, you
Right.
feel compelled to move and shoot to the beat?
Called Metal
But what if you
Hellsinger.
had to? In metal, the better you are at slaying to the beat, the more intense everything gets. And we have vocal performances from legendary artists like Serge Tankian from System of a Down. So while headbanging isn't mandatory, we do recommend it. Our demo is live now, so go check it out and slay to the beat.
This is great. I'm not a fan of metal music, but it sets like a really cool atmosphere for this game. And I'm in no I'm not a metal music, I guess. Like, I've heard of System of a Down, that's probably about it. Okay, that looked awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. The demo is out now. Okay.
Yeah, I might have to download that. And actually, it says it's on S and X, so that's probably a cloud play for me, since I ain't giving nobody no more money for no systems no time soon.
Right.
Right. All right. So next up, we have Little Orpheus. I'm really looking forward to see how this one looks.
Yeah.
Especially since it's a
E3.
I'm already impressed. upscale for next gen. Okay, cool. This looks really cool.
Looks upscale.
My fortunes would be changed by an event so bizarre. I almost hesitate to tell you.
Okay. A bunch of games that aren't Little Orpheus. All right, great.
I'm like, this is it? I thought it was.
I'm like, wait a minute, what happened here?
Right.
But no, that looked cool though. That definitely looked like something I'd like to play.
Yeah, it's a very, I don't know. I like platformers if they have something intriguing about them. I think I just like the 2.5D aspect to it. Or what was the
yeah, 2.5D, yes.
Yeah, because I don't know, it made everything look really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Little Orpheus. He's very little in this.
Yeah, and it's only $13 too, so it's a not an expensive game either.
Okay, that's what's up.
All right, and last but not least, you suck at parking.
Let's find out how bad people suck, because I actually agree with the title. It's terrible. And I don't know what it is. People love the back end part.
This looks absolutely chaotic and fun as all the way. Wow.
Like a lot of fun.
Yeah. When does this come out? Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay, I'll be downloading this.
Like ball guys and racing.
Yeah.
This is cool though. I like the overhead like shot on it. Like
that looks really cool. I will tell you, we keep talking about this. Just the imagination of so many of these developers to take something so simple as parking a car to make this chaotic, frenetic game trying to park your car. Like, that's just, I love the imagination of that. And, we're seeing more and more of that with a lot of the games that are coming out, just that really looking to make new genres, because I only know what to classify it as. It's not really a racing game.
Right.
It's a little bit of party, a little bit of racing, obstacle courses, maybe some puzzle solving as well, based on the trailer. That looked really cool, and I'm definitely playing that this weekend.
Yeah, that looks very, very interesting. I wouldn't mind playing that at all.
Yep. So that's the last about games for this week. Now, a bunch of other games are coming out, but we've already talked about them before. It's like new games, like the Bear and Breakfast game is coming out for the Switch, and we talked about that a couple. It's a lot of games like that, but these are the newer releases that are coming out this week. And speaking of new, Brian, what's new with you this week?
We have, there's an episode out now, but I'm probably gonna put another one. This is the Talk+Play blerdcast, by the way, guys, my personal podcast. Probably gonna do another episode sometime before the end of this week is out, and that's it. Besides me here on the checkpoint, talking on the new releases, watching these fantastic trailers, that's pretty much it for me.
Sounds good. And of course, the latest edition of the Sartorial Geek Podcast, episode 126, out now. Live long and prosper. Talking about a lot of the details that were released on Star Trek Day, Lower Decks, She-Hulk, a couple other things as well. Immortality, Jim Ryan crying like a little, over Call of Duty. Got some nerve. But that's this week. That's what dropped, I guess, Saturday. So last week's show. This week, recording it now, it came from D23. So we're talking about a lot of the announcements from D23. And of course, still talking about She-Hulk, Lower Decks, Fragrance of the Week, as well as I think probably I'll be talking about You Suck at Parking as the game of the week now. So that's what's coming up, and that'll be dropping on Saturday following this recording.
Cool.
So, of course, you are not with the Talk and Play Blerdcast or the Saltarian Geek podcast by WebsterStyle. You're, of course, rocking with Nerds Rule the World. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the NRW. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. And, of course, you're currently on YouTube, so make sure you like, share, and, of course, subscribe.
Right now.